you will become the biggest visitor inviter in your BNI chapter. I'd like to share with you one of the best secrets I've got for inviting visitors. Something that if you follow these steps, you are guaranteed to get more visitors coming to your BNI chapter. Now, this is something I talked about on the official BNI podcast with Ivan Misner, episode 830, if you want to check that one out. But I'm going to give you a little bit more detail today because with the podcast with Ivan, we're obviously very limited for time. They're very short podcasts, and I want to give you more meat on the bones for how this strategy works. So let's look at how most people do it. When most people try to invite somebody to BNI, they will ask them to come along to a networking meeting. They will want them to do you, the member, a favor. And it might look something like this. Let's say I'm speaking to a builder. Let's say I'm speaking to a builder. He's just done work in my home. I'm stood in front of him. So, hey, you, that's pretty good what you've done here today. Tell me, would you like to come along to my BNI meeting on Thursday morning? It's a weekly meeting. It's 6:45 in the morning. You'll get to stand up in front of 25 other people, tell them all what you do in your business, and maybe some of them will be able to use you. And also it costs £16 to come along as a visit. How does that sound? Now, just between you and me, I suspect very strongly that person is going to say, no, they're not interested. Because I've asked them to do me a favor. I've asked them to come along to a BNI networking meeting. I've told them it's 6:45 in the morning. I've told them it's £16 to come along. I've told them they've got to stand up in front of a load of people and talk in front of public. And public speaking is one of the biggest fears that many people have. But the way you need to do it is to flip it round. It's psychology of sales. If I'm asking somebody to do something I want them to do, they're less likely to do it. If, however, I offer to do them a favor, I offer to put myself out of my own way, go out of my own way and do something for them that will help them, they are more likely to say yes. So let's say we've got an architect in our chapter, for example, and this works if you've got an architect in your chapter. It works if you've got any business that is what I call at the start of the sales process or the start of the workflow process. So let me explain. Architects give work to builders, to decorators, to interior designers. They give work to plumbers, electricians. They're the ones that hand out the jobs, and they give a lot of referrals. Lettings and estate agents, real estate agents, they hand out work again to a lot of trades, to carpet fitters, to flooring companies, to electricians, to plumbers. They give out all the work. Digital marketing agencies like myself at Engage Web, we give out work to photographers, to videographers, to copywriters, to graphic designers. People come to us for the initial work, and we hand out work that we need to give out to other people that we don't do ourselves. That's the kind of people you want in your chapter that this works. So let's say we've got an architect in our chapter, which at the moment in BNI Chester we do. And I'm talking to this builder, and the conversation's going to go a little bit like this. And I'm going to address the camera this time rather than look off there, because I think that's a bit rude. Sorry about that. I'd say, hey, what you've done here is really good. Let me ask you a question. Do you get a lot of business from architects? Now, at this point, they're either going to say one of two things. They're either going to say, yes, I do. They're a great source of business from me. Or, no, I don't, but I'd like to. And either one of those works perfectly to you. Do you get a lot of work from architects? Let's say they say, yes, I do. They're a great source of business from me. Oh, that's interesting, actually, because I was with an architect friend of mine yesterday, and I was talking about you. And he told me how he finds it difficult to get good quality, reliable builders that he can introduce for his clients to do the building work that he does the architecture for. Tell me, would he be a good introduction for you? Would he be a good person for me to put you in touch with? Obviously, they're going to say yes, because every builder wants to speak to an architect. Every graphic designer wants to speak to a digital marketing company. Every wedding photographer wants to speak to a wedding planner. That's how the process works. So he'll say, yes, that would be a great introduction for me. I'll tell you what, right, he's a bit of a face-to-face person. And rather than me pass your email to him or pass his phone number to you and you play email tennis or phone his PA or his secretary and try and get in touch with him, I'm actually meeting him on Thursday morning. I'm meeting him on Thursday morning in Chester. Why don't you come with me and I will personally introduce you to him, tell him what a great job you've done for me, what fantastic work you do. You can talk to him about the work you do as well. He might have some work for you. He might be able to put some work your way. How does that sound? Now, I've not invited them to a networking meeting. I've not invited them to a BNI. I've not asked them to come along at 6:45 in the morning, pay £16, have a breakfast and speak in front of 25, 30 people. I've offered to do him a favour. I've offered to introduce him to the kind of person that's going to be able to give him work. Now, that's not guaranteed he's going to say yes. He might be the kind of person that says, no, I have no intention of getting up at that time in the morning. Absolutely no way. I sleep in till 8:30. And if that's the case, he's probably not the right person to take to BNI meeting anyway, so don't worry about it. But the majority of people at that point will be so delighted that you've offered to go out of your way to help them. They will bite your hand off for it. They will be trying to ask you for the introduction because you're the one that can help them. And that's the situation to be in. It flips the power. It flips the power from you asking them do you want to come along to my networking meeting? It's really early in the morning, it's £16 and I'm not sure if it's right for you, but you can come along. It flips the power to them saying, oh, can you do that favour for me? Can you introduce me to that architect? I'd really love for you to do that. Can we do it this week? Can we do it this week? That's how it works. And if you do that, I guarantee you will get more visitors. You will get more visitors to your BNI. Now, this is one of the strategies I talked about with Dr. Ivan Misner on episode 830, that's bringing visitors via social media. And I call that particular strategy using a member of your chapter as bait. Using a member of your chapter as bait. Now, there's some important caveat you need to know before you go off and do this for a member of your chapter. Make sure you ask their permission first. Don't go off and inviting loads of people to come along and meet your lettings agent, your estate agent, your real estate agent, and bringing all of these trades in. Look, here's the estate agent, help yourself. Don't go off doing that without telling them that you're going to do it first. Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a shock and you get all these people coming at them. And also, don't promise them that they're going to get work or referrals out of it because you can't do that. You can't promise them they're going to get anything out of it. You can't promise them work. You can't make any guarantees that they're going to get a job out of it. That's not what you're doing. You're offering to introduce them to somebody who could potentially give them work if they get on, if they click, if the price is right, and all of those other things. You're offering to do them a favour and make the introduction to the kind of person they're asking for introductions for anyway. So don't do it without the permission of the member, and don't make any promises you can't keep. If you do that, you will get a lot of visitors. Now, as a final point to this is one of the strategies I cover in my BNI Visitor Inviting Guide, which is completely free, and there's a link below this video. Go onto that link, follow the link for the BNI Visitor Inviting Guide, and you can download that. And there's about, 12, 13 different visitor inviting strategies in there that some are face-to-face, some are over the phone, some are on the internet, some are on Messenger. They all work in different ways. And if you use that guide and you follow those strategies, you will become the biggest visitor inviter in your BNI chapter. If you do them all, you will become the biggest visitor inviter in your chapter. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that because I've done it and it works for me. Anybody can do it. So follow the link below the video, download the free guide, follow the steps within the guide, and you will become the biggest visitor inviter in your BNI chapter. Thank you.